Well, good morning and thank you very much and welcome to the 4th Annual Charter 50 Summit. The Charter 50 represents user group of Smart 911. So we're honored to have the first in-state customers of Smart 911 here today from 22 different states. And they're going to spend the next 2 days, along with representatives from APCO and NENA, giving us feedback, giving us best practices. We're a software company. We know how to do that. And we sell to public safety and the first responder marketplace. So having that feedback is absolutely invaluable. Today's session is a little bit different for the summit because of the caliber of the keynote speaker and the panelists we've got, and also the recent events. We've opened it up to the local responder community. So thank you all for being here.
Today you will hear from those who dealt directly with other recent tragedies. You will hear also from public safety officials on how Smart 911 is a valuable tool to assist law enforcement during times of confusion. As the Senate Vice Chair of the Joint Committee of Public Safety and Homeland Security and a former law enforcement officer, I know the importance of giving our public safety officials the proper tools to assist them in conducting investigations and responding to emergency situations. I have the honor this morning of introducing Maureen Will. Previously, she was a captain at the Brookfield Police Department. She worked at the Brookfield Police Department for 30 years. Currently, she is the director at the Newtown Emergency Communication Center, secretary of the Managers of Emergency Communication Center, a member of APCO and NENA, and she was awarded the Outstanding 911 Communications Center of the Year, awarded the 911 Communications Center of the Year in March by the NG 9111 institution. Maureen? And again, I want to thank you for coming to to Boston today, and just remember the logo that has taken the country. Remember Boston strong. Thank you.
And now you're going to get to hear all about something that happened on December 14th. And December 14th is a day that definitely changed a lot of lives. It's changed my life. It's changed my center's life. And obviously, it's changed the lives of the residents of the town. Just a little bit about Newtown. We're a nice town. We're the 5th largest in the state of Connecticut. You blink and you cannot get through us. It takes a long time to get from point A to point B in the town of Newtown. But it's a beautiful community. We're only about 26,000 strong. So for many of you, you can pack in your whole state, just kind of like engulf us. We're little. We're a small piece out. We've got, 5th largest in the area. If you want to know where Newtown is, you tell people aim for New York, you'll go past us. We're closer to New York than we are to the Boston area. It takes me an hour and a half to get from my house to the Connecticut state line. It is the longest hour and a half of your life. Right? And I see the sign, welcome to Massachusetts. Thank you. It looks like, we used to call it Massachusetts because we would come up here for vacation all the time. My sister lives in Londonderry. So we're very familiar with the areas. We like to get out of Connecticut when we can because we like the Boston, New Hampshire area. We have a borough of Newtown. You cannot put a sign up in the borough. You have to ask permission. It's like a historical district, so you have to ask permission. I've got Plattsburgh, Hollyville, Dodgingtown, Sandy Hook, and Newtown Hook and Ladder, 5 volunteer fire companies. And so when we respond to a fire, how many different ways do we go? 5 different. I got 5 different fire chiefs. We're all volunteers. Aim for the smoke. Aim for the smoke. But we have fun with it. This is our police department. We are 47 strong. The chiefs, the captains, the lieutenants, my volunteer fire companies, our EMS. We have 3 rigs, 1 ambulance garage. Again, all volunteer. There's about 78 volunteer EMS workers from the town of Newtown. Again, all volunteer. My communication center, we are 10 strong. Staff says 9.5 because there's 9 full-time telecommunicators and me. So 9.5. They are faster than I am getting some of the stuff into the CAD, but I can answer a phone and I can do the same job they do. I'm certified. I have to be certified to sit at the desk. So 9.5, but that's who we are. We run two, we call ETDs, Emergency Telecommunication Dispatchers. We run 2 ETDs per shift, and we run 12-hour shifts. So at any point in time, there's only 2 of them working. The .5 is Monday through Friday, and I pop in on the weekends to drive them insane. This is our call volume, 8,000 a year. You can laugh, go ahead. That's nothing. Does the term regionalization mean anything to you? I need to regionalize. The state of Connecticut, I am so fortunate. They pay for our 911 equipment. You can walk into any 911 PSAP in the state of Connecticut and the equipment is the same. I can sit down, I can use it. The matrix may be different, the matrix where all the phone numbers are, because they may put their restaurants and, dispatchers want to know what food is, right? So what's most important, we got to know where the takeout stuff is. Our matrices may be different, but the buttons are the same. You don't have to log in. So our CAD systems are different. We have 169 different municipalities in the state. We don't do counties like you do here or across the country, which counties like anybody. 169 municipalities, 106 PSAPs. Yeah, all these little kingdoms. The CADs are all different. Nothing's, it's a pain in the butt. It is a pain. But when you call out a TERT team, you all have TERT, right? Oh yeah. We thank our lucky stars for TERT. You'll hear that later. But when TERT comes out, they are the best of the best. And it doesn't take them long to figure out a CAD. Fill in the blanks, correct? That's all it is. So when the best of the best come in, they will do it and not have a problem. I have 3 consoles. They're all fully redundant. Thank you, State of Connecticut. They're all paid for by the state. So you don't want to move to Connecticut because we're really expensive with our taxes, but they give us good stuff. They really do. So we've got those consoles, and those are my 911 lines. I have 3, and the admin line. Then I got a bunch of non-emergency lines with the other phones. So that's a basic setup of my console. It's going to give you an idea what happened later on. That's my console. That's my little center. Little hole in the back is my office. Nice little sign that says "Thou shalt not whine." Next to underneath it, somebody put in and wants some cheese with it. But it's next to my NASCAR pictures. I am a NASCAR freak. We are not that far from Loudon, but they're not running until June. Those are where the console positions are. It's small. We are small. So when an event happens, don't bring more than 5 people in my center. I coexist with law enforcement. I am my own entity. But don't bring more than 5 people because you start tripping over one another. There's only 3 consoles. So pretty much like many, maybe some of yours, not too much. On December 14th at 9:35 in the morning, I was just coming back into the building because I was on my way to a 911 regionalization meeting. And I thought, I'm going to be nice, I'm going to bring staff coffee. So I had coffee for them. I pulled up in front of the building to the forbidden zone because I was just going to throw the coffee in and leave. I walked in, and Bob New, who was a junior dispatcher, but he was like my peer, said, Maureen, we've had a shooting at San Diego School. I remember putting the coffee down on one of the consoles. The next thing I know, it was 11:30 at night. I know I moved my car, and I know I came in, because the car didn't get stolen. We still can't find the coffee. I don't know where it went. Sure we drank it, but I don't know. That first call was from one of the secretaries at the school, and she is a personal friend of Bob's. Her son is my best friend, and she was telling us about what was going on at the school. The second call was taken by Jen. Jen Brosey is my senior dispatcher by a few years from Bob, but she's a young kid. And she was talking to one of the teachers who had been shot. Bob lost contact with the secretary. Jen is still talking to the teacher. Third call comes in at 9:39, and that was from one of the custodians. who was giving detailed information as to what he had heard, he had barricaded himself in, and what he had seen prior to the first 935 call. Understand, we only received 4 911 landline calls. I thank my lucky stars for everything the state of Connecticut has given us. And I will say that over and over again for our 911 system, because this is the best damn system in the world. And it worked to perfection. We had all our information coming up on Annie Alley. I wish, and this is the first time I can actually say it out loud here, I wish we had had the school part of it now, back then, because I know, whammo, I would have had all that stuff up. But within our own CAD system, we have building plans for the schools, we have their layouts, so we're able to pull that up anyways. But those were landline calls. There were several hundred cell phone calls that were coming. Guess what? They went to they all go to towers, right? They all went to state police. Okay? There's only 2.5 of us working on the 14th. They got a gazillion people up at the regional center at the state police, so they got all the calls. Thank you very much. I love the state police. Okay? They're a wonderful group of people, so they had to handle them, and they're going nuts. Because what was happening, the teachers did everything they needed to do. The principals did everything they needed to do. They went into lockdown. They made sure those kids were safe. And they made the notification to 911 the way they're supposed to. It worked the way we drilled. What can I say? But those are the times that I will never forget, and it worked. Everything worked. There are many things I'm very proud of on 12/14. There are some things I'm not. Because we started getting these inbound calls. We were getting phone calls from law enforcement personnel around the state. As Bob immediately did what our policy states. How many of you all have active shooter policies for dispatchers, not for cops? You don't have to raise your hand, I can already see. You can see it by the looks on your faces. We have an active shooter policy. We train an active shooter with law enforcement. We have the law enforcement active shooter policy that we worked together with Mike Kehoe and I when we combined, and made sure the policy was going to work for all of us. So Bob immediately put out his all-call. We cleared the building in a nanosecond. Cleared it. He went over the radio. He told them exactly, the officers, exactly what was going on. Again, policy is, if you are working, you are to go to the area of the incident. And that's what they did. And we encrypted. So it was great, because on Scannerland you hear everybody saying, Maureen, you released the tapes. I didn't release anything. This is Scannerland. They heard everything. The media heard everything. Mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers heard everything. Also, other law enforcement agencies heard everything. Because you all have, many of you have backs and scanners within your own agencies. Well, we started getting those phone calls. Can we help? Can we send you anything? Can I get my people to the school first? We don't know, because our people, they converge. Jen and Bob did exactly what we had trained to do with one dispatcher per frequency. Bob was handling all law enforcement. Jen was handling all fire and EMS, while she was still EMDing the call for the teacher, because she had to keep her on the line. Well, obviously, she was a little bit traumatized. The media starts calling us. What's going on? You got a problem with the school? We have a script that we use for major incidents. Yes, we've had an incident. We have no further information. The PIO will contact you. That's all we say, and then we hang up. We'll repeat it twice. In this case, as it was going crazy, we only repeated it once something hung up. But we repeat it, but it's right there on our CAD. You just read it, and then you hang up. We're not confirmed. We're not going to lie. Please don't lie to the media. Please don't lie to them. This doesn't do you any good, and it only is going to make things worse. We had to make a notification to the first selectman and to the superintendent of schools. Those are phone calls I wouldn't wish on anybody. Mrs. Lodra, I don't know if you've ever met her, you may have seen her. She's a pistol. She's a little lady. She used to be a principal, a teacher. She'll cut through BS like a laser knife. Don't mess with Ms. Lodra. Don't mess with her. Articulate and so caring and compassionate. We're very, very lucky to have her. But she has a nasty habit when we call. She puts you on speakerphone. So to get to Mrs. Loger, you got to get to Sue Marchnek, who is the administrative assistant. So we call Mrs. Loger the principal, and Sue's the vice principal. So when Sue yells at you, you're in trouble too. So I get Sue, and the first thing I said, Sue, it's Maureen, I need Pat. Pat. When we call her by her first name, this is an emergency. You don't have to say anything else. Hold on. She puts me on. Hi, Maureen. And she's on speaker. Take me off speaker, Mrs. Loger. And you don't talk to her like that. You don't. What do you want? Is that here? John Boquette, the associate editor of the Newtown Bee, had been in her office. So thank heaven we didn't stay on the speakerphone. Tell her that there had been an incident of shooting at Sandy Hook School, and I did not know what the casualties were or the outcome of what was happening because law enforcement was just there. You could hear her age over the telephone. So please stay in your office. I'm going to be calling Dr. Robinson, who is our superintendent. I will have her go to your office. You can coordinate from there. Made the next phone call to the superintendent's office. Now remember, this is right after the event had happened, so what do you think is happening with the Board of Education phone lines? Yeah, because simultaneously to us doing our job, the Board of Ed is doing a school messenger out to the parents that there's an event. Not telling them what it is, I believe. I'm not quite sure, but from what I understand, it was just there was an event at the school, and it went out. So what do you think those parents are going? And what are they doing? Yeah, and what are they doing? They're calling the Board of Ed. We have what we call a bat phone number for the superintendent, and I was able to call her on the bat phone. So it's nothing more than her personal cell phone, but how many of you have the personal cell phone numbers of your superintendent? That's one number that they'll answer. So again, to tell her we've had an event, and she, just like that. My babies. Dr. Robinson, go get Linda, who's the assistant superintendent, and go to Mrs. Loger's office. Thinking outside, we've never faced anything like this. It's not in a policy or procedure. You just know as a director, that's what you're supposed to do. The schools will all immediately go into lockdown. We did not authorize any lockdowns. They just did it. All 5 schools in town into lockdown. Board of Ed is notifying parents not only of Sandy Hook Elementary School, but of all the schools that there has been an incident. So now we have our parents call. Remember, I've only got 5 routine lines. They look like Christmas. Up and down, up and down, up and down. So again, the script that we used, yes, there's been an incident. We never said the word shooting. There's been an incident. Please do not go to the school. Stay by your phone. You'll be notified. Do you really think that that's an item? Many of those phone calls were from police officers who have children in our schools. Now, I know them. They know me. And again, it's Maureen, what happened? I can't tell you. I'm telling you to say, I don't know who these people are. I mean, I know who they are because I can call right name. But I can't tell them. I can't. Because that's my job. And it's the hardest job I've ever done in all the years I've been in public safety. And they're crying. People are crying on the phone. My babies from the superintendent. My babies from law enforcement officers who live in our community and who know, because they hear us. They hear us on the screen. And with Sandy Hook, there's, we're kind of laid back. In this picture here, in the center one, the building on the right-hand side, a little yellow, I know it's kind of hard to see, but that's our diner. It looks like a dive. But it's the best place to get, double scrambled eggs and home fries and whatnot. It's a hometown diner. Right down from it is 100 Churchill. Used to be a biker bar. Best burgers and fries for lunch. It's a dive. You go through Sandy Hook and go, this is a dive. But it's got great food, great entertainment. We're the entertainment. And, that's all it is. Within 2 hours of the event, that's what happened. I am a small piece of it. If that's the traffic, think of what my radios and my telephones are doing. On our radios, again, we were very fortunate. Bob was handling law enforcement, Jim was handling fire and EMS. We immediately instituted incident command. We would only speak to the EMS incident commander, the fire incident commander, and the law enforcement incident commander. You could talk to me to your blue face, and I'm not answering you unless you have big command. The other personnel were on their TAC channels, which they're supposed to be, fire ground. Law enforcement, again, their TAC channels. For EMS, we have our mass casualty plan, which is incorporated into our active shooter. I was a cop for 30 years. It's a no-brainer to me, I knew, based on what we were being told on the telephone and my training and experience. The EMS resources were going to be overwhelmed. I knew. I immediately notified Northwest Connecticut Public Safety, which is our CMed center. They are coordinated ambulance to hospital communications. Talked to Sue Webster and Steve Savage, who are the director and the supervisor. So we've had an incident in San Diego School. It is a shooting. Put the mass casualty plan into effect. That's all I had to do. At that point forward, CMed makes the notifications for me of mutual aid ambulances, handles all the coordination of the radio traffic, and they will talk to EMS. I will talk to our EMS command. Everybody else talks to them on their frequency. I don't have to listen to their chatter. What do volunteers do on the radio? Excuse me, because I know it's breakfast. Diarrhea of the mouth. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody's talking. Well, I didn't have to listen to it. My ears were clear. And because of the interoperability that the state has set up for us, we were golden. Now, this is before we even started talking about law enforcement. This is fire and EMS. So that's all taken care of. We don't have to worry about it. People started coming in. These are the same shots you had seen previously of what the hook is. That's what happened within 2 hours. That's what happened when the law enforcement showed up. Police chiefs and love police, don't be mad at me. The Connecticut State Police deployed. They did an all-call. Every Connecticut State trooper was coming into Connecticut, was into Newtown. All the law enforcement agencies surrounding us who had heard it on their scanners, self-deployed. You cannot self-deploy. We had police self-deployed, we had fire self-deployed, and we had EMS from other towns self-deployed, all without us even knowing about it. We didn't have a clue. You name it, they showed up. Yeah, fire laser books. That building right there, that's Sandy Hook Firehouse. Those are the fire trucks. Explain to me how I'm going to get those trucks out if I got a fire somewhere else in Sandy Hook District. So we had to put another fire company on standby just to cover our district. See that truck? We still can't figure out how he got stuck there. Thankfully he's gone because there's a house right here. It's an apartment house. This is Sunnyview Terrace. I live directly across the street. So this is what we're facing. Here's our senior center. Here's one of the driveways. But these are all the law enforcement and parents who are coming to the school. It sounded like a war zone. Helicopters were flying over. Some media. We had to call Trooper 1 to push the media away, taking all their pictures. It was a disaster. And it was frightening. It was frightening for the parents. It was frightening for the residents. And then you got Bob, Jen, and I sitting up in the communication center, and we're answering all those phone calls. And what were we thinking about? Remember who I said the first phone call was from? Secretary. Bob and I kept looking at one another going, damn, is she all right? No, how's PJ? Our friend, his mom. We can't call him. We can't say anything. So we thought she was gone. Because we had been given information about 3.5 hours later that she was gone. So it's like, man, today sucks. It really does. Well, now we started getting a lot of other personnel coming in. Off duty, on duty. We didn't have to call the state police if they showed up. The selectmen, all of a sudden, I'm answering phones and Mrs. Loder's standing next to me. Where the hell is she coming from? I want to help. I want to answer phones. No. I don't want to in here. So she, but she ended up going down to the scene. And then we had children from St. Luke Elementary School show up at the meeting. We did not know that they were coming to school. We started talking to them, and we saw their condition. They had run away and had been found, and parents brought them up to PD. Now it's just us dispatchers there. That's it. Because there ain't nobody in that building. They're gone. So we had secretaries and records people. Christmas time, so we had Toys for Tots. We grabbed toys that were in the boxes in the lobby. We brought the kids into the interview room. And our interview room is a little different than yours because they got a nice big leather couch. I'm telling you, we're a small town. We do things different. So they were able to sit on the couch and be comfortable. We notified the superintendent of schools. Dr. Robinson immediately got a hold of one of the psychologists from Holly School, which is right around the corner from us, to come up to the building. So he could talk to the kids, make sure they were okay, and then we got in touch with the parents. So we let the kids go back to their parents. We didn't have a choice. We could not keep them there. They're busy somewhere else. Our media, I have no problem with the media. They have a job to do. But I'm warning you. I'm warning you. Watch out, because they'll come. And they were coming from all over the place. Do you know there's Japanese media? I didn't know that. They came to Connecticut. They came to Newtown. I don't know. They all came. ABC, NBC, Fox, and you name it, they're there. A lot of the cable ones we never heard of. I mean, we met Anderson Cooper. Most of those people are really short. But it was, they're very, very nice. They have a job to do, but they all come. So this is a beginning. These are not taken off the internet. These are our pictures of media. The Newtown Bee helped us. So they started setting up. Top one is at one of our churches. There was a vigil going on. That's what the people were facing. The bottom one is Sandy Hook Firehouse, the Anderson School. This is nothing. This is nothing compared to the media that was all over this town. That's media. Top left one, Paul Vance from Connecticut State Police, his lieutenant. He was the PIO in charge of all media relations. Awesome man. If you ever get a chance to take a class from him, please do it. He actually gave a class to our MEPA group, our managers program, to help us talk to the media, learn how to talk to the media. Would you like to be surrounded by that? That's what it was. To the center, that is Sandy Hook. Again, how do you get services to those people? You have to do it. That's what this is. That's what it was. That was our life for a couple of months. Images again of what you can expect if you have an incident of a magnitude like we did. The parents all respond, you got to deal with them. They staged the Sandy Hook Firehouse, staging area, the parents, the room to the back, the long one, right through here. That's where the parents were. This is where the ambulances were all staged. This is just parents. That's Riverside Road, going down to the school to the firehouse. The top left, that's the Parker family. Mr. and Mrs. Parker after being called when their child had died. Our staging areas, we were very fortunate that in our CAD system, our staging areas are predetermined for both helicopter arrival and where we put people in our firehouses. If you have an incident at a school or at the senior center, we pre-drilled with a lot of our fire companies and with the PD. Our GIS guys and our IT guys were phenomenal, and they were able to help us. So we get it all into the CAD, pull it up in an instant, and we tell them where to go. We had more command posts than there's weeds. We had this firehouse. We had, with emergency management was there, our Homeland Security, which was awesome. They came right in. We set up phone lines for them. Computers, printers, that's where the logistics stuff took place. Our EOC, which is for emergency management, and if you read it in the main papers that Lieutenant Bengali said is the law enforcement EOC, wrong answer. It was our money, EMD money, that put that thing together. But we let them come and play every once in a while inside the building. But it's the emergency management EOC. But they took that over, law enforcement did, because the Secret Service was there, the FBI, you name the alphabet soup, they were in there. The PD was the command center for all the outside agencies coming in to assist with patrol functions and with the family functions, because we had troopers assigned to the families, and there was other business that still had to be conducted. And finally, the communication center. Your dispatch center becomes the hub for everybody. We were known as UPS, logistics. Because if they needed something, who they asked? The dispatch. We know everything. We know where to go, how to get there, how much it's going to cost. You need it, we got it. Within 2 hours of the event, Northeast Communications through Motorola was able to get us 30 portable radios pre-programmed to our frequency. The state of Connecticut, Paul Zito, our interoperability person, with his voodoo magic, don't ask me how they do it, don't know, I made the phone call for the ITAC iCall, the interoperable radio stuff. He did his thing up in Middletown, and guess what? All the responding agencies coming in could hear us on our frequency. I did not have to change channels or anything. I kept talking on my own button. And then even encrypted. So he was able to do that, which is an awesome thing. But we were the command area. Dispatch managers, I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun, it's a lot of headache. You gotta know where everyone is. And that was the hardest thing we found. Making sure we knew where everybody was. We were encrypted at all times. One frequency, this was went on for almost 2 months. Once the event, the EMS and fire command stood down, we didn't have to worry about their frequency, but PD, they were different. That was almost 3 months we encrypted, which is an awful long time. We had the portables, CMED handled our dispatch. So if I had gotten an emergency call, and I'll tell you, the good Lord was watching us, because we did not have one additional call for service for 2 straight days. No alarms, no accidents, no EMS calls. The angels were watching us, I can say that. Not one additional call. We did have that patch from the state, which allowed us to talk to we had over 70 different law enforcement agencies coming into town. Sprint and Nextel, thank you very much. We love them because they came in with cows. It's because when we did this cell phone service, we made a mess. So they brought the antennas up, we didn't lose any service. Our IT department, make nice with them, buy them cookies, do stuff for them, because without them, you're going to be sunk. They hooked us up with everything. We had interoperability like you would do. Everybody could talk. AT&T, I will also thank, kudos to them. Do you know how long this usually takes to get a phone line in? A couple days, a week maybe. Less than 24 hours. They brought in lines and dropped them for us. With no charge. We're still dealing with the aftermath. We're coming up to our 6-month anniversary. One of the young ladies, one of our victims, her birthday is Friday. Father's Day is coming, Mother's Day is coming. But in the days following the 14th, the wakes and funerals and the interments almost killed us. There was 26 funerals, 11 of which were held in the town of Newtown. So they had to be coordinated. At one point, we had a vigil at one of our churches, and a bomb threat was called. It's like, it didn't stop. We're still recovering from Superstorm Sandy, because that happened in October, and it wiped us out for over a week. So we were just getting back, and then we got hit again. So this almost killed us. The command post had to be manned, staffing had to be taken care of, and Christmas was coming. We didn't have Christmas. We really didn't have Christmas. The officers were all given 24 hours off. Other outside agencies were brought in to cover for them. But you can't do that with dispatch. Can't do it. But I did call our church team in. I should have called them in earlier. But pride kept me from doing that. Because you don't want to admit that you can't do it. But it wasn't until you actually have a meltdown that you say, okay, that's it. I mean that. So they came in. And I was able to give one dispatcher Christmas off and another dispatcher Christmas Eve while the church people stayed for us. And that helped out a lot. EAP, obviously, with that day one, we had EAP. With mental health services, you need them. Don't let anybody tell you you don't. You have to watch your staff. I have, unfortunately, one of my staff members is out and has been out for 2 months now. And it's because of the event. And I don't know if they can come back. I don't know. And a hard decision as a director that you have to make is you have to have a fitness for duty for them. Because you can't have them fall apart. What happens when it's Christmas time? What do people do? What do they make? Cookies, don't they? Do you know there's a lot of really good cookies? And there's a lot of really bad Christmas cookies. We got some of the bad cookies. But they were cookies. I don't ever want to see another cookie again. Honestly, I love the Girl Scouts, but please don't give us any more Girl Scout cookies. Because they came in by the cartful. There's a lot of food came in, and you have to manage that. our health director, she's still freaking out. Because, you know, you get all this food, you don't know where it came from. You gotta be careful, and we ate it because it was good. The mac and cheese was the best. Oh, there's lots of different ways to make mac and cheese, but it was the best. The phone calls, they still don't stop. People on the West Coast wake up about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning and they call us because they want to talk about this hoax that's been happening. And they've got their theories as to why it happened. If you Google search my name, you will find me in the conspiracy theorists list. They have all my personal information. They're saying that I am hiding bodies. That's the way it is. There's all kinds of weird stuff out there. We have noticed an increase in our crisis intervention calls. The mental health of our community is very fragile right now. I don't even talk about the conspiracy people, but they're all out there. And then we have solidarity. There is a lot of solidarity between my dispatchers and law enforcement. And it can become very overwhelming. The cops all started doing the what's that thing? What's that thing you for guys? Goatee? Why? I don't know why guys do that, but they all had to go this goatee thing. So our guys did it. Some of them don't look very good on them. They're very ugly, but that's solidarity. The togetherness. Okay, cool, I'll handle it. But then you get those feelings of guilt. Why wasn't I working? Why couldn't I have been there? I need to help. Really have to watch. There's a lot of guilt. There's guilt on my part. Did I do enough? Did I train them enough? But I know I did. And then what's our new normal? Because right now, to be honest, a lot of us are sick and tired of being sick and tired. What's the new normal? We don't know yet. We're still facing a lot of the unknowns. But we have pride. We have an awful lot of pride. I have so much pride in my staff, it's not even funny. I will burst at the seams. And believe me, I can't afford to be bursting any more than you. That's why the event is Spanx. But I have pride in them because they did their job. And they did it very well. The same job that you all do every single day as dispatchers. That's the job we did. As hard as it was, they did it. I have pride in my community because we stood together strong. We're not going to let this define us. This event will not define us, as Mrs. Locher said. It will make us better. And we will be better. From the telecommunicators across the country, I have a stack of emails that I got that first night. It's about this thick. I used to carry it around. They're charging me extra when I fly or if I get on the train, just for this box that I have. APCO, Nina, Smart 911. Just a line. We're thinking of you. Call if you need anything. That's all they have to say. Telecommunicators from around this beautiful country of ours wrapped your loving arms around us so that we could be strong. Columbine, Aurora, Lancaster, all called us. Told us what we can expect. And they have hit the nail on the head every single time. Because we are in the anger phase now. And that's a bad phase. That's why tomorrow I'll meet feedback to Newtown, because I know tomorrow's going to be a bad day. I know that. It's just the way it is. In my family, my daughter is a special needs child. She's 21. She's also a member of the St. Hook Firehouse. She heard the shots. She immediately ran down the street. But I'm not kidding. I live across the street. Went down. She was there when the parents were told by the governor that their children were dead or their loved one. For a month, she would wake up screaming, silently to herself or in a pillow, because all she could hear were the screams in her head. She kept it from me because she knew I had other things on my mind, quote unquote, for my kid. When I came home that night about 11:30, 12 o'clock, I knocked she had locked the door. The lights were all on, and my house looked like everything was lit up. Oh man, that filthy smoke is going to be wicked. You know how stupid things go through your mind? So I get to the back door is locked. There she is on the phone. And she's holding a crucifix. One of those big ones that you put on the wall. Now I'm a Catholic family. So you know, on the wall you got the big crucifix. Oh no. What is going on? This is bizarre now. So I knock on the door. I hear her say, okay, Dad, she's home now. Okay. So Catherine, how you doing? Good. Everything all right? Yep. You don't jump right into, what the hell are you doing with this thing? So I put my stuff away. I said, honey, what's with the crucifix? Mom, I'm going to ward off those immediate devils. Immediate into the house. Knocked on the door. Your dad said it's okay for you to talk to us. Oh, guess what? She knew better. wham went the door, and that was the end of that. People on my street were held hostage for about 2 months. Easy until after January. With the media, I had to badge my way home because of the checkpoints, and it was 10 points for any cop who didn't get out of my way. I wanted to go home. You know, badge out the window, please let me go home. You couldn't move. Okay, I sent Catherine to her father's house because she could not have navigated through the traffic that was there. It was impossible. Plus the fact that we have to close all the blinds and the curtains, the media lights, and the stuff at the firehouse. You can hear the generators, you can see the lights. It's too much. You went to sleep with it, you woke up with it. So we sent her away. And then I had pride in myself because I did a damn good job. My staff did a damn good job. And, you know, we flew under the radar, and we're continuing to fly under the radar. We're going to keep it that way because we did what had to be done. But we grieve, and it's hard. Our cops, our governor, our president. I got that almost hung up on the president because I didn't know it was his office that was calling for a phone number and get ready because the president comes. The president comes, our governor, our officers, and they come. Be ready. You have to be ready for the people. They will come from all over the world to say, I'm sorry, how can I help you? And it's sometimes very hard to help. Our 10-minute ride takes 45 minutes. So there's a big impact. And you have to be ready for that, especially for your staff. Watch your staff. Bob lives down the road from me. We could actually carpool if we had to. It's hard. Teddy bears, envelopes. That's a church. That's what's going to happen. The media will find you and they will come. And I'm not being disrespectful to the media. I have to just forewarn you. That's what happens. Not all the wonderful things that you will send us. I felt sorry for those bears in the middle because that's head to butt. That's fun. That's the stuff I can make you laugh. This isn't all sad. This is our municipal center. So we're getting cards and letters. This is one of the we shut down the United States Postal Service. 70,000 pieces of mail came in on one day. That's what happens. Those are the cards and letters from across this beautiful country and around the world. After a while, it did become very depressing for the employees of the municipal center because that's all they saw every day until February 19th. Now this map, this is pretty cool. This is a map, obviously, of the United States, and it sits in my office. You see all the stars? That red, Boston, you are up there. This represents all the communication centers from every state in the union, and then some, who sent something to the NECC. Emergency Communication Center. Whether it be a card, an email, a cookie, whoever sent a silly string, I will get you. Nuts, you name it, we got it. And quilts, beautiful quilts. Again, APCO, Nina, Smart 911, Kevin Willett from 911 Cares, the message went out. So, we put something together to say thank you and to pay our respects back to all of you who have given us such wonderful support and love. You have kept us strong in our seats. We sit a little straighter. We feel a little better. And you helped us smile. And some days it was pretty hard to smile.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Ooh. Ooh.
14, I've had that image of your arms around us, circling us, helping us. So we had an illustrator do this for us. We had given permission for it to be used. T-shirt, mug, anything appropriate, so that any monies raised for it through 911 Cares goes back directly to telecommunicators across the country. It's our way of saying thank you. Most people don't grow up to be a dispatcher. I want to change that. I want someone to grow up and say, you know what, I want to be a dispatcher. Come on, and cops, firemen, and paramedics. Because you can't get to down without coming to us. This is the goal line. We are the thin goal line that is strong and clear and will keep you safe. The McGuffies could have done up a little better, but the girls look good. So I thank you very much on behalf of my staff, and I thank you for everything that you do. I'm looking forward to hearing what you're proposing, because I want it. I want my schools linked. I want my businesses linked. If there's anything I can do to help my community, I'm going to do it just like you. So I thank you very much. And I thank you.